One act of kindness turned into a curse. Now every tree remembers his touch. The forest had been whispering all morning, its mist twisting through the tall black, pines like spirits at war. Cale had been wandering for 3 days, lost between hunger and exhaustion, his boots heavy with swamp mud. He wasn't supposed to be here. No human was. The locals called this place the Weeping Vale, where even sunlight came in broken pieces. He heard it first, a sharp cry, half pain, half fury, then the rustle of something heavy falling into the undergrowth. Cale froze. Another sound, shallow breathing. He followed it, pushing through the wet ferns until he found her. A woman, or something like one, lay slumped against a tree. Her skin was pale with a faint silver sheen, her hair tangled with moss and leaves. An arrow jutted from her side, black with poison. Around her, the roots themselves seemed to tremble as though sharing her pain. Cale hesitated. She wasn't human. Her ears tapered into fine points. Her eyes, when they fluttered open, were golden, like sunlight filtered through honey. "Stay away," she hissed, her hand trembling as she tried to reach for the dagger at her thigh. Cale raised both palms. "You'll die if I don't help." Her lip curled. "Better I die than owe a human." He ignored her words, dropping to his knees. "You can curse me later." He snapped the arrow's shaft, careful not to pull it out just yet. She tried to strike him, but her strength was fading fast. The poison was spreading, purple veins crawling up her ribs. Cale worked quickly, pulling herbs from his pouch. He'd been a medic once, before the war took everything. His hands moved with quiet purpose, mixing salve, wrapping the wound. When he pressed his palm to her side, she gasped, and the trees seemed to sway. The ground pulsed beneath them. A strange warmth spread through the soil. The roots coiled around his legs, not tightly, but as if curious. Her voice broke through the air again, lower, dangerous. "Touch me again, and the forest will bleed." Cale froze, but her eyes were already fluttering closed. The forest had chosen to watch, and now it would remember his touch. When she awoke, it was dusk. The scent of smoke and herbs hung in the air. Her wound was clean, the poison gone, and a fire crackled nearby. The man sat across from her, sharpening a blade, not threateningly, but methodically, like someone used to surviving. "Didn't expect you to wake up," he said, not looking up. The Huntress's eyes narrowed. "You should have left me." "Couldn't," Cale replied simply. "Didn't seem right." She studied him, his torn coat, his rough hands, the faint burn scars crawling up his wrist. "You are not from these woods." "No, you?" Her silence was her answer. Then she added, "I am Oralis, Huntress of the Green Court." Cale frowned. "Never heard of it." "You wouldn't have. Humans are forbidden beyond the river's edge. My kind keep it that way." He shrugged. "Guess I crossed without reading the sign." Oralis's lips twitched, almost a smile, but not quite. Then her expression darkened. "The arrow wasn't meant for me. It was for you." Cale looked up sharply. "What?" She stood, her bare feet sinking into the moss. "They know what you carry, human. I carry nothing." Oralis turned toward the trees. "Every trespasser says that." She began to walk away, the forest parting around her as if alive. Cale watched her go, then the mist shifted again. In the distance, something moved. Not human, not elf. Something heavier. He grabbed his pack and followed her. Whatever hunted her was now hunting him too, and the forest wanted blood. They didn't speak for a long time. Oralis moved with silent grace, her bow slung across her back, every step deliberate. Cale followed, trying not to snap twigs or stumble over roots. When the first roar came, it shook the leaves off the trees. Oralis drew an arrow in a flash, eyes sharp. "Mire beasts," she said softly. "Scavengers of death. They smell blood." The ground rippled as if the forest itself was breathing. Then a creature emerged, massive, its body made of bark and bone, with 6 glowing eyes and tusks of blackened stone. Cale's breath caught. "That's... Run!" They did. Branches whipped against Cale's face as he sprinted through the dark. Behind them, the creature tore through trunks as though they were reeds. Oralis turned, loosed an arrow. Green flame flared as it hit the beast's eye. It screamed, shaking the air. Cale stumbled, falling hard against a root. Oralis spun, grabbed his arm. "Move!" He saw it then, the vines at her feet writhing, responding to her will. They coiled around the beast's legs, pulling it down. The forest itself fought beside her. When it was over, she knelt, panting, one hand pressed to her wound again. Kyle reached for her instinctively. She caught his wrist, eyes blazing. "I warned you, human." The trees groaned around them, bleeding sap like amber tears. Kale slowly lowered his hand. "Then stop nearly dying in front of me." For a moment's silence. Then against her will, Aralis laughed, a low, startled sound. The forest had drawn first blood, but not its last. By nightfall, they reached an ancient ruin deep in the woods. Aralis lit small blue fires along the stones, symbols flaring to life like old memories. "This was once the border," she said, "between your world and mine." Kale sat beside her. "You keep talking like I'm from some cursed realm. Your kind burned half our forests for your wars. You took our healers, our rivers, our silence." She looked at him then. "And yet you saved me. Why?" Kale stared into the flames. "Because once I didn't save someone. I won't make that mistake again." Her golden eyes softened for a moment, then turned cold again. "You shouldn't have crossed the veil, Kale. The forest remembers trespass." He frowned. "You keep saying that." "What does it mean?" Aralis stood, placing a hand on the nearest tree. The bark shifted, forming faces. Dozens of them. Some screaming, some weeping. Those who take what is not theirs become part of it. Kale shivered. "And me? You touched the blood of the Green Court. The forest has marked you." Before he could reply, a tremor rolled through the ground. The sky turned sickly green. Aralis's head snapped up. "They're coming." "Who?" "The Huntmasters, the forest's enforcers. They can smell the bond between us." Kale rose. "Then we run." She looked at him. "No, we fight." The forest had judged them guilty, and its executioners were already here. The Huntmasters came like shadows, their armor grown from bark, their eyes hollow and bright. Each carried a blade made from a single living root. The air thrummed with an ancient rage. Aralis stepped forward. "He's under my protection," one of them hissed. "You would defend a human, traitor?" "I owe him life." "You owe me honor." The Huntmaster's gaze turned to Kale. "Then you both die as one." Kale barely had time to draw his blade before the first strike came. Sparks lit the clearing. Aralis moved like wind, bow singing, vines cracking through the air. Kale parried, his arms numb from the force of impact. He wasn't fighting men. He was fighting the forest itself. A blade slashed across his chest. He fell, gasping. Aralis cried out, loosing 3 arrows in a blink, each one blazing emerald fire. She took 2 Huntmasters down, but there were more. When one raised a sword to strike Kyle, she threw herself between them. The blade cut deep into her side, the same wound reopened. She fell to her knees, clutching the earth. Kale caught her before she hit the ground. "No, stay with me!" She trembled, her fingers slick with blood. "You shouldn't have touched me. I'd do it again." The forest screamed. The trees bent backward as if in agony, roots tearing from the soil. Sap ran like rivers of light. Kale pressed his hand to her wound once more, and this time, something ancient answered. His blood mixed with hers, sinking into the earth. The Huntmasters froze, their weapons dissolving into dust. The forest went silent. Aralis's eyes opened, gold burning bright. "What did you do?" Kale smiled faintly. "Guess I made the forest bleed." She stared at him, torn between fury and awe. "Idiot human." He laughed weakly. "You're welcome." As dawn broke through the shattered canopy, the vines around them bloomed, blood-red flowers opening to the sun. The forest had bled, and in doing so it had been reborn. In the heart of the cursed woods, a human and a huntress had rewritten the oldest law. Sometimes, to heal the forest, it must first bleed.